Can you talk
So,
more about your near-death
Yeah, I
experience?
was
Just
gonna
share
ask
a
you.
little bit about
well,
that.
it was, I was in my brothers and I were in a car, we went on a fishing trip. We always went up to this one river in Minnesota all the time since we were kids. And weirdly enough, that's also where my brothers were hit head on from a drunk driver years before. It was a weird, I would love to know about that vortex right around that area. But anyway, it had been raining for days, but the rain had stopped. So we went, okay, we're going to go, camp. We went through the first day. Water was kind of rough, from all the rain, but it was good. Caught a lot of fish. Second day, we're taking the narrow part of the river, and we take off on it. Maybe we'd been on there for about an hour, and all of a sudden, that the river was still rising about 6 inches a day from all the tributaries. We weren't thinking about that at the time, but trees started falling. They'd been underwater for a while. They lost their roots.
Wow.
And so we're going down this little John boat with a little electric motor on the end, and these two trees fall right on us. And so my younger brother and I held on to the tree that fell. My other brother from Hawaii went with the boat. He hung onto the boat and went under the trees and was gone. And so we're hanging there and we're in this rough water. It's pulling off our clothes. We lose our shoes, our pants are pulled off. We're trying to pull up and we can't, there's no way we had the strength to, number one, just pull yourself up anyway, but then you're fighting the current at the same time. So we sat there for a while, and it looked like you were going to die. If you let go, you're going to, you were convinced I was convinced this is it. And so I said goodbye to my kids. I said goodbye to my family. I was preparing myself to go. And my brother left. My younger brother said, hey, the only way I see of us out of here is I'm going to let go and I'm going to try to get my feet into these rocks over here, where the current's going. And it may work, it may not. We're going to try that, but that's our only way out. And then you're going to have to let go. And you're going to have to, hopefully I can catch you. That's the only way out of this. So he left and he got in the play. He got his feet in between a bunch of rocks. By the way, his feet were completely black and blue, just holding on to try to get. And I'm hanging there and I'm like, oh, I got to let go. I got to let go. I have to to let go is super freaking scary. And all of a sudden this gold light came around me as absolutely real as anything I've ever experienced. And with several beings that said, it's okay. And time just sat still. It seemed like it was like, I'm sure what was probably 5 minutes or 10 minutes seemed like an hour. And it was just glowing, sparkling gold light. These beings saying, it's okay. We got you. Let go. And I just remember letting go. And it wasn't even like I felt my body. They carried me literally over to my brother. And after that experience, I was like, whoa, that's with me all the time. That's always there. Now you forget about that, but the mushrooms do help me get back to that. Once that connection was made, and then anytime I'm in the mushroom space, even microdose, I can access those same guides. But that opened my mind, definitely. That was,
I bet
you could experience on a mushroom journey. You know what I mean? Like you have that connection. So that was so physical for me though. So,
wow.
Yeah.
That's amazing. Were you able to talk about that with anyone? When that happened?
Well, and right away after it happened, we also had hypothermia because the water was like in 50 some degrees, and we didn't know where my brother was that went down. We were afraid he was gone. So we were in the middle of nowhere. So we find a place we see a house way up on the cliff. again, we have not closed on the lower part of our body. Keep that in mind. I'm going up to somebody. My other brother says, I'm going to go look for Craig, our brother. And I said, well, I'll go up to the house and get a call into EMS. And you knock on somebody's door with no clothes on the bottom, hi, we could use your help.
Yeah.
So, angels carried me here.
Right. Yeah.
Wow. So what about your brother? I guess your brother survived then? Y'all found him down the river?
He was hanging on a tree and he was so traumatized. He got stuck on a tree, actually. Like he got stuck up on it. And he was definitely traumatized because when they found him, he's up there. Our Father who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name, thy kingdom come, thy will be done. He's like just singing. He's completely like just trying to leave his mind and not think about it probably. And he was beat up. I mean, the tree had, he was all scraped up and bruised up, and it took a bunch of EMTs. Then the SWAT team comes in, like 5 boats, helicopters. We're on the news. It was such a big story. I have it recorded. I made a video of it. I'll have to send it to you guys sometime. It's pretty funny. But they interrupted the Stanley Cup playoffs, and Minnesota was even in it. And if you know Minnesota, I mean, it's hockey.
Wow. Yeah. Right? That's big.
They broke into the Stanley Cup playoffs and said, breaking news, siblings saved from raging river in northern that. It went through the whole thing. More details at 10.
Wow.
Yeah. It was a big story.
Oh my God. Which brother is the one that bear hunts now? Which one of these brothers?
Well, my little brother that rescued me, he still lives in Minnesota, and he's afterwards, he was like, he really didn't take it as serious as it was. Like, he's just, you know what I mean? Like, oh yeah.
Oh, wow.
That was a sweep, but my brother,
what a rush.
My brother in Hawaii, first of all, his body was not ready for the cold water either. It was, and so he had hypothermia even extra bad, and he will not go in the water anymore.